Hello, my lovely YouTubers. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be talking about seedlings. I deflasked these Paphiopedilums in July of this year, so July of 2014. And you can see that they're already working on new leaves here. I had a little bit of an issue with bugs, like worms, that some sort of larva that got onto the plants, and that's why there's some damage right there. But I was able to eradicate that larva, and as you can see, they're very healthy now, and I'm just going to show you guys how I fertilize these guys. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got a spray nozzle. I purchased it at Ace Hardware, and it has this adjustable head here so that I can either do a stream or a mist. I really like this pump bottle because it holds a lot, and I'm able to dilute my fertilizer so it's not too much for the plants to handle. You don't want to over fertilize because it can burn the young seedlings. It's especially true with the younger ones than it is for the older ones. So if you do over fertilize, you'll notice pretty much within a week I did that myself. So I have my pump sprayer here, and I'll also be using this seaweed fertilizer. This is Neptune's Harvest, and I really like this stuff because not only is it a seaweed fertilizer, but it's also fish emulsion. So that's a nice natural organic fertilizer there, and the orchids, they love that organic fertilizer. They grow really well with it. Okay, so I will show you how much I use. So you really want to shake up the bottle before you use it. And after you're done shaking, if I can take, and it smells really bad, obviously, because, you know, it's fish emulsion. So what I do is I usually take just a capful of this stuff. And I'm not going to pour it on camera because I'll probably spill it, so 1 second. Okay, so just a capful of this stuff, and boy, it smells really bad. You can see I spilled a little bit. So just a capful of this stuff, and I use rainwater to water my seedlings. They're not quite ready, I don't think, to go to the tap water, even though I have a low TDS, which is total dissolved solids. In my tap water, I think it's less than 70. So really good for orchids and, you know, carnivorous plants, things like that, but they're not ready for that. I'm just going to be using rainwater, and I'm going to pour the fertilizer in there. And you can see the fertilizer turning the water a brown dingy color. So at this point, I'll put on my pump sprayer. I also have over here, this is a seedling that somebody else deflasked, and we traded seedlings. So I gave them some of my Paphiopedilums, and in return, I got I got several of their Callias, but I ended up killing. Not all of your orchids, when you deflask them, are going to make it. And she traded with me, and unfortunately, orchids that are deflasked, they really do well in large community pots. And I think the reason why the ones that she gave me died is because there were only like 2 of them per pot, and that's really not enough to... I mean, this one is going really well, so hopefully I can keep it alive until it blooms. As you can see, it's a green veil, so that one will be really pretty once it blooms. And this one here, I've had trouble with this plant ever since I bought it. It is SLC Little Hazel Red Jewel. It bloomed for me once, and the blooms pretty much blasted right after they opened up. And ever since then, it's just been doing really poorly. As you can see, the roots are just a mess. I've been keeping it in this dish here, kind of like the modified Swagen bag on this heat mat here. And as you can see, there is a little new growth right there. I don't know if it'll recover or not, but I've pretty much just been keeping it in here and misting it, and I'm hoping that it'll, I'm hoping that it'll grow new roots. So what I do is I just need to pump this guy up first. Oop. So what I do is I just mist the plant. I'll put a little bit in there, around the edge. So that way the roots aren't actually sitting in the water, but it increases the humidity around the plant and encourages it to send out new roots. So the way that I water this guy here is I keep it really dry. Cattleyas, they like to be dry. I keep this guy really, really dry. As you can hear the crunchiness there. And I'll just spray until the roots turn green. You can see them starting to change color. So there we go. Those roots have turned green there, and that's it. I don't do anything more than that. I don't want these guys to drown. I think that's one of the big issues I had with the other seedlings that ended up dying, is that I was just keeping them way too wet. So for these guys, the moss is crunchy, so I know that it's time to water again. And I don't worry about water getting stuck in the crown or anything like that. I just give them a nice, good misting. Do a little bit more pumping. Okay. So I just make sure that all of the roots get nice, well fed. They love the organic fish fertilizer and seaweed fertilizer. And you can buy that fish fertilizer off of Amazon. It's not very expensive at all. And if you have Amazon Prime, free shipping. So I give these guys a good dousing. Okay, and I'm done with that. So it's not crunchy anymore. And the tray itself, I mean, it isn't wet. There's no water that's pooling down below. I just made sure that all of the roots were taken care of. And that's pretty much it. I keep them on a heat mat, so it stays pretty warm for them. And I also have them under a T5 grow light. It's not too much sunlight for them, but I only give them probably 6 hours of this kind of light. So you can see there's just a little bit of a shadow when I put my hand over it. So it's not too much light for the Paphiopedilums. There's no burn marks or anything like that on them. So there you guys go, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.